I wanted a churro.
I swear there's something going on across the street. My neighbor's acting just a little too discreet. Yeah. He's taking trash out in the middle of the night. But when I see him in the day, he's so polite. Every morning he waves as I leave the door. But I see him buying bleach at the grocery store. Yeah. He's the founder of the whole neighborhood watch. And every week they meet up for classes.
Hello! Happy weekend! I actually have like things to do this weekend, plans, so I'm kind of loving that. This morning, I was up and at them early at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I jumped out of bed. Who knew? Why did I have so much energy? I don't know. Got laundry started, make a breakfast, edited an entire vlog, all by 7:30 a.m. It was incredible. But just now, I went to the library right when it opened because I needed these 3 books whose holds were all ready for pickup. But this one was supposed to be come pick it up by Friday or else you don't get it. And they hadn't taken it off the shelf yet, so I do get it. But some exciting things to look forward to this weekend. Later today, Zach and I are going to the a.bea.s tour movie at AMC theaters, so I am excited for that. That'll be this afternoon. Late this night, my sister is coming into town for like a work conference that she has, but it starts not until tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow I get to see her for brunch, hang out with her a bit, and then like now this is far in the future, but then also at the end of the week after her work conference, she has more time that we can spend together before having to go back. So that's exciting that tomorrow we're going to brunch. We're going to a new area of like Atlanta suburbs that I've never been to before because that's where her conference is at. Great things. Look at this. Pick up by 10:13. All 3 of these books are like big popular thrillers that recently came out, so I'm kind of excited. I feel like I don't often read books as people are excited about them and as people are talking about them, and like with these I'm a little bit behind on the curve, but I'm not like months behind when I'm finally like, oh, okay, I guess I'll read that. So I feel more in with the times reading these ones now. I guess assuming that I read them, I haven't read them yet. But we have Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney, which is her most recent release. I have not loved Alice Feeney's other books that I have read, but I have listened to the other ones, so I was like, maybe if I physically read it, I'll feel something different about this one. We'll see. I don't actually know what it's about. The cover is cool though. I do like the cover. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one that I have had some hits with her and some big misses with her, so I don't know what the new one will be. Again, TBD. And this one I think is the one that I'm probably most excited about, but Just Another Missing Person by Jillian McAllister. She is the author that wrote Wrong Place, Wrong Time. You can see it has the little Wrong Place, Wrong Time sticker down there so that you know that. I really liked Wrong Place, Wrong Time, so this one's another one that I'm excited for. Between now and Miss Taylor's movie, I am going to go work out, and also my plan is to go for a run, which it has now been 2 weeks, I think, since I've run. I'm still not at the time where I'm like back into training for half marathon, but that time is coming up, and so I'm trying to not just start from 0 again, but I think without the like external motivation of training for the half marathon, it's hard to like get out there and run. But my plan is to do that today. Okay, and you're gonna be around for all of it. Happy weekend.
Who'd suspect a guy who always wears a smile with his tie? They all believe a guy who is truly a delight, Mr. Right. Oh, close the windows, lock the door. It's late at night and I hear footsteps on the floor. Blood is freezing in my lips. Well, is it real or is it just October things? He never talks about his past, they say he's coy. I could just shrug it off and being paranoid, yeah. Women come over cause he doesn't have a spouse, but oddly no one ever sees them leave his house. Who'd suspect a guy who always wears a smile with his tie? They all believe a guy who is truly a delight, Mr. Right. Oh, close the windows, lock the door. It's late at night and I hear footsteps on the floor. Blood is freezing in my lips. Well, is it real or is it just October things?
For brunch, we went to First Watch, which I don't remember if I've ever actually been to a First Watch before or not. I like know of them because one came to my hometown like a little bit before I was moving to college. So I know of First Watch. What was so funny, I feel like in general, I am like so easy to please, especially with any kind of like service employee that I'm interacting with. Like I've been customer service for many years of my life. I do not care like what level of service I get. Today, it was like, it was funny. Like it didn't like negatively affect the experience all too much. But when my sister and I were at First Watch, the waiter that we had, I think just like hated being a waiter so much, which is fair. That's her right. That's 100% her right. What first happened was we both ordered the coffees that she would have seen, and she brought over the coffees, and they were like iced coffee with big whipped cream on top and big like chocolate chips on top to where you really need a straw to drink it. But she brought them over. We didn't realize at first that there weren't straws, so she like walks away, and then it was like when I went to drink it, I was like, ooh, I need to like stir this up. Like it's the kind of thing, if you put it to your mouth, you're just gonna get whipped cream. It's like, oh, I need to stir this up a little bit. No straw. It took probably 10 minutes to be able to like flag down our waitress to ask for straws. And it would be like where we'd make eye contact and I'd be like, something, you know, and it took 10 minutes before she came back over. And then we finally got straws. And then it was time to eat. And they had like this seasonal menu, and one of the items like that was to share for the seasonal menu was cinnamon spice churros. And both my sister and I were like, oh, we love churros. It's been so long since I've had like a churro. Let's get the cinnamon spice churros. So our waiter asks what we'd like to eat. And I start with like, okay, to share, we'd like the cinnamon spice churros. Immediately, before I even finished my sentence, she said, they're not good. And there's like period, hard stop. Like there was nothing like, oh, like, you know, those are an acquired taste, but instead grab this thing. No, just those aren't good. And I was so taken aback. I was so taken aback. Because how do you come back from that and be like, well, we would like them actually though? Like, I don't know. I was so taken aback. And so then I was like, oh, okay, like for eating then, like the main course. And we just both ordered our main course. And then when she walked away, both my sister and I were like, I wanted a churro. And then it was just the two of us at the table, which I feel like if there's two of you, usually they bring the food at the same time. Again, not the hugest deal. It's just kind of funny. She brought over just my sister's plate, set it in front of her, didn't say anything, walked away. So we were like, okay, I'm sure mine's on its way. And it was probably like 5 minutes later, then mine comes, sets it down, walks away, doesn't say anything. I had a frittata. I take like my first little cut of the knife with my fork into the frittata. By the time I do that, and I was the second plate that came by the time I just put my like fork and knife in there, she comes and puts our check on our table. She came and put our check on our table. So I mean, like, we probably sped up how we were eating because it was obvious that she was ready for the table to cycle through. I just feel like it's been a while since I've had an experience where I was like, that was like not great. Like it wasn't awful, it didn't like negatively affect our day, but like that was funny. I think from this weekend, I'm just gonna continue it into the work week. So it can be a big long mega vlog. Maybe even next weekend too, whenever my sister comes back and we do more. So welcome to the weekend turned work week vlog. Let's head into Monday morning. I don't know what transition I can do to make that look cool. Like,
It's late at night and I hear footsteps on the floor. Blood is freezing in my legs. Well, is it real or is it just October things?
good morning. Welcome to a Monday, start of another work week. I'm filming on my phone's front camera right now. I drove to work today because I have therapy after work, so I need my car. It will be my second therapy appointment ever in my life. Let's see what else. I'm a medical social worker at a children's hospital. I brought my comforter to work today because we have like a concierge service where they'll run errands for you, and one of the things they do is dry cleaning, and I've never taken this comforter to be dry cleaned. We haven't used it like since we moved because it hadn't been washed, and I was like, that just, I don't know if I went on my bed yet, but I figured I'll just go have it dry cleaned. I have no idea how much dry cleaning costs, but it is nice to have the convenience of someone else doing it for me instead of me. Today at work, I don't really know what the day is going to be like. I have my social work peer support group, or peer review group, I forget what it's called, but like group supervision basically. I have that this afternoon, I know that. And then as I mentioned before, therapy after work, probably good. Good morning. I am so frozen. Our window, as you can see over there, is not in. We put in a work order for it on Thursday and it's now Tuesday and I haven't heard anything yet. So it is 58 degrees inside our apartment. We didn't do like an emergency order because I didn't think we needed it at the time, because it's not like our heat is broken. It's just like we're not turning on heat, because I was like, oh, the temperatures are going to be pretty mild. Like we're not going to get too frozen inside the home, and now it's 58 degrees inside the home. So I mean, nothing a good sweatshirt, hot coffee, triple blanket combo can't fix. weeks, but something funny to be going through today. Yesterday at work was honestly a pretty slow day for me. There were some custody clarifications that I did. There were some kind of discharge planning tasks that I did that are a more complex discharge, so the tasks are taking a longer time. I provided some emotional support for parents, so it was kind of just a very, very chill day. My social work peer group that I was telling you about actually got canceled, so I didn't do that yesterday. And then after work I had therapy. I'm undecided on it. I know, and like I would even tell people this too, that sometimes you have to like kind of go through multiple people before you find a therapist that's a good fit. And I don't know if I'm just like hypercritical since I'm also in the field and like no one would feel like just this like great, perfect, wonderful fit. I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know if it's not a good fit where I'm at. That's what I'm kind of like deciding in my head, and I don't know the answer. Because yesterday it was like, it's fine, but also like, I don't know, there are things that I'm critical of. I woke up early today because I've been loving waking up at 5. Sorry if you like cannot take me seriously in this hood. There you go. I woke up early today because I've been waking up at 5 to read, which has been a really fun habit, just because I'm still on my like intensive reading schedule that I mentioned last video, where in order to get books done by the time they're due at the library in the quantity that I have them, I've been having to read 172 pages every day. After today, if I successfully finish this book, after today the number goes down to like only 106 pages per day, so that'll be fun. But I'm gonna get on reading. Hopefully I finish this book, maybe not this morning, but at least sometime today. Partly because it's due today, but also partly because I'm loving it. Made a little taco salad for dinner today. And I got 2 packages that I figured I would unbox. This one, I think, is the first time that I felt like such a sense of brand loyalty. I have been using my white hydro jug. It's in the kitchen now, so I'll go grab it. My white hydro jug for at least a year and a half as a water bottle. And I've been loving it. Like, I love my hydro jug. I had never gotten a Stanley Cup or like brands that are shaped like a Stanley Cup, doing the same thing as a Stanley Cup, until Hydro Jug came out with their traveler mugs. So I ordered one a little bit ago, and they were pre-ordered, so it just got here. So if everyone could please welcome to the family. This is fun. I don't know what is the same or like what is different between like if you were to get a Stanley or the different kinds of ones versus this one, but it does have a rubber base. It does fit in a cup holder. It says it's leak proof. It says it keeps water cold for 24 hours and it's 40 ounce. So I think this is a nice middle ground between times when I don't want to carry around my 73 ounce hydro jug, but I still want to be carrying around water. Oh, and you can even rotate the straw for like if you hold it in your left hand, you could turn it so that it's left hand friendly too. That's nice. Love that for them. And then the other package, I'm assuming is a book because it came from Penguin Random House, which makes me assume then that it's a book that I won like in a Goodreads giveaway. I don't remember right now winning one, but sometimes they take a long time, so I probably just forgot. What Waits in the Wood. What's funny is the audiobook that I'm currently listening to is called What Lies in the Wood. It looks like it's a ballerina who can't dance anymore, so she goes back to her hometown, and one of her high school friends is then found passed away in the woods. Oh, but the retired ballerina has been like receiving like, maybe not threatening messages, but like there's been like a figure that she like hasn't been sure if it's like her imagination or if it's a real person, and that has before told her that he was gonna kill her. And apparently the friend that was found dead looked like the main character, and so then the main character is worried of like, was this a case of mistaken identity and really they were trying to get me? So we're like mixing together moving back to your hometown after your career is derailed by an injury, adjusting to the people you haven't lived with or seen them for a while, but then one of your high school friends is dead, but you wonder if it was supposed to have been you. I feel like this could be really boring or it could be really good. We'll just have to find out. Hello, happy Wednesday. I was gonna say Tuesday. OTD, got my purple scrubs on, this little blue shirt. I feel like the colors don't really like go together. And then it is still cold outside, so I'm putting on a big sweatshirt in order to do my little walk commute. Today, I don't have all too much of a plan. Like, I don't know exactly what the day is gonna look like. I do have a CEU this afternoon at 3, I think. So pretty much anything I need to get done then needs to get done before that because I won't really have time to do anything after that. Maybe I could do notes during it, I don't know. But one of my coworkers is out for like a week or so. And so that means that I'll be helping cover, which sometimes could literally not affect my day at all. Or sometimes could be like a family who's not usually on my caseload needs something and I would help out since he's not here. So it can be a bit of a wild card. Since I don't really know, like I'm not coming in with direct plans on what I'm doing, I'm gonna chart review when I get there. And then I always make note of when my like last note is for a patient. Like I have a little column where I'll put like last note 10/10/23 or something like that. So then whenever I'm chart reviewing in the morning, I can look and be like, oh, that was a week ago. Let me go check in with that family again. Just kind of helps make sure that no one's like falling through the cracks, not getting checked in with, even if they don't need anything, just like even a 5-minute conversation. I believe today I'll spend a bit of time planning for some like care conferences, which are meetings between medical teams and families. Usually if families stay in the ICU for a more extended length of time, that's when they start doing kind of more regular care conferences like that, because it can be a time to like sit down away from the bedside in a different area of the hospital with the doctors that are primarily working with a patient, and their parents have chances to like hear big picture things, long-term goals, short-term goals, have a chance to ask questions. So I have a couple that is coming up for, and so I may start to plan those today if parents would like that. Other than that, we'll just see. I don't know. Tonight is run club, which last week there wasn't run club because it was raining a lot Wednesday evening. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been to run club. So I am kind of looking forward to that. It's always hard whenever I have things after work because I love chill evenings so much, but I also love chill mornings so much. And if I just have like chill, sit on the couch and read all day, every day, then I don't really do anything else. So I literally woke up this morning, which I have been doing like the past week, and sitting on the couch and reading, which has been such a fun way to start my day. Except also now it's like, but when I get home from work, I just want to like sit back down there and read, when in reality I'll need to make dinner pretty quickly, not like super speedily, pretty quickly, because I'll have like an hour between when I get home from work and when I leave to go to run club. So I'll make dinner, go to run club, come back, and maybe it'll be like 8 p.m. So the night is not over at that point. I can still have my chill night. I just feel like I always have this balance of like, I want to do these things, but I also want to lay here in this apartment cozily, peacefully, restfully, all of the time. Okay, I hope you're having a great day. Both the day currently that it is right now for me and the day you're watching this. I hope both those days are great for you. I will see you either throughout the day or after work, whichever one I can do. Okay, we'll talk about work today, and then we'll talk about the things I've been thinking about that aren't work today. Work ended up being pretty busy, and a lot of it was things that came up that like I wasn't planning for. Something that we help with is transportation lots of times. A pickle that families can get in is sometimes you are brought from your super far away home by ambulance, and then you don't have a car. Maybe you don't have someone who's, you know, coming to meet you in town. Maybe you don't have means to take a Uber a bajillion miles away or take a taxi a bajillion miles away. So that can definitely be a pickle. When people are covered by Medicaid, they do offer transportation for discharges, which is incredible. Like, it's such a great resource. But if people are uninsured, they don't have that option. So today I was like, not like pulling strings, but just like, I guess, tying up strings to make sure that transportation didn't delay discharge, and it ended up not, which was good. I felt like I could kind of put my little like stamp of finality on the day, which was very nice. I think lots of times I talk about the counseling support side of my job, which is a big part of it. And this is where like a distinction is between me and some other medical social workers. I don't work on discharge planning as far as like prescriptions go, as far as necessary medical equipment goes. Like, I don't do that part. We have different people that do that part, but I do help with discharge if it is like social issues that are leading up to discharge. So like if transportation is an issue, then that's something that I help with. And that can even go as far as there's scheduled outpatient appointments for a family who doesn't have reliable transportation, so trying to set up rides before they even discharge from the hospital to make sure that there'll be the least barriers in place to be able to make their outpatient appointments, that type of thing. But then I got home today. I was going to go to Run Club, which I know I even talked about this morning, but I was making dinner, and by the time that I finished making dinner, I had to be leaving like that very second 2nd to go to run club, which was just poor planning on my part. Like I don't know if I thought it wasn't gonna take me as long. I don't know what I thought. And I knew I needed to eat and I didn't want to have to rush or feel stressed about traffic or anything. So I ended up just not going. And instead I went to the gym, did a couple weights, did like elliptical and read a little bit. I think I need such a mental reset, just in the sense of I feel like in so many avenues in life right now I kind of got in a rut, and not necessarily all in bad ways. Like for working out, it's just like if I do the same thing all the time, personally I just get bored of it, and then once I'm bored of it I'm like, well, what do I do now? I have to like really get myself to get up and go there, because I'm like, just another day doing the same old thing. So I feel like that's kind of a rut. I feel like even just in some of my like morning routine, nighttime routines, this week I've kind of changed things up by doing like where I read for like an hour in the morning, doing a little hot chocolate in the evening. I feel like can just make such a big difference. But I think that I set these like time parameters on myself of like, you only have this much time to do this, you only have this much time to do this, where I'm always almost in a rush, where it's like I get home from work and I'm like, okay, now I need to make dinner, okay, now I need to work out, okay, now I need, like as if it's a big rush, whereas really it shouldn't be. Like it's not. Like I'm on my own time. I'm lucky enough to be in my early 20s with no one depending on me. Like I'm very much on my own time. So that's kind of what I mean by the mental reset, is like figuring out the areas in which I'm just like creating less enjoyable experiences, but like that don't need to be less enjoyable experiences, if that makes any sense at all. I hope it does. Sometimes I have these great ideas and I feel like they don't come out they don't come out my mouth in the same way that they exist up here. So some things that are fun that are like helping me or will help me in the future get out of my rut is like this past weekend I went and did things that were fun and outside of my routine, because my sister is in town and she's still in town. She was at the zoo today, so I was getting zoo pictures, but I'll be hanging out with her again Friday, Saturday, so those will be like different mix up the day type of days. A few weekends from now, Zach and I are taking a little mountain trip in North Georgia, which I'm really looking forward to. A few weekends from that, my mom's coming to visit. So like there's so many things to look forward to, but I also want to be good again about finding like things to look forward to in the day-to-day mundane that isn't just like an event, which my hot chocolate has been one of. As small of a thing as it is, it's been fun in the evenings. It's been a nice addition to my evening routine. But I think I used to be a lot better about that. And I've been watching old videos of mine, which I go through phases sometimes where I'm kind of like, I wonder what that phase of life was like. And I like go back and watch those videos. So the ones I was just watching were from like January, February, whenever I was getting my master's. And honestly, at that time, I was like quite overwhelmed, but I was trying to proactively not create that situation for myself again. And I was trying to proactively like figure out which balls that I was juggling could truly drop and it would be fine. Like I was being, I don't know, just hearing myself, I was teaching myself, hearing myself from back then talk about how I was handling, how I was feeling at that time. I was like, oh, it's kind of inspiring for now. So apparently I was a smarter 22-year-old than I am 23-year-old. And I just did that math so many times in my head because I thought there was no way that could be true, that like I'm 23 now and I was getting my master's degree when I was 22, because it seems like a lifetime ago. Yeah, no, that is accurate math. That just like blew my mind. I swear I'm like 5 years out. No. Now. I think I forget sometimes that I'm young and fun. Okay, like honest opinion. Do you know how old I am? I know I just said it, but like from watching videos, if you hadn't heard me say it before, I feel like if I were watching myself based on the life I'm living, lifestyle wise, everything, I would think I'm like late 20s or something like that. And not that that's a bad thing, but I feel like I need to be more young and fun. Maybe that's my reflection that I need to be telling myself. It's not that serious, be more young and fun. And now I'm cured. I've had so many busy days at work in a row, but it's honestly been really good because it hasn't been like to a point of where it's too much, but it's been to a point of where the days kind of fly by, which I do actually really appreciate. And I really like whenever there are like opportunities to learn more, and that came up today where it was like a situation that was brought to my attention where I was like, I have no idea how to proceed right now, which I think is something that's so normal and is the reason why social work exists in community for the most part. Even just as far as like having a supervisor or having coworkers, like it is so nice to have people to bounce ideas off of. So the situation that came up, I was like, I don't know how to proceed. I don't know what my steps are. So I went ahead and called my like social work supervisor and was like, okay, quick rundown. Here's what's going on. What do I do? I think sometimes, myself included, we can be like hesitant to ask questions because almost as if it's like a sign of weakness or something like that. But it would be so much more weak to like go through with something not being sure if it's like right or what you're supposed to do or following protocol or that kind of thing. And it ended up being so helpful to where we could just have the conversation and she's like, okay, like step 1, do this next, like based on what they say, then you can go ahead and do this part, and then like all of this. Like it was just so helpful to be like in teamwork, I feel like, to handle the situation. And it's such a reminder that no matter how like long you work a certain type of job or are a social worker, even if you're moving around jobs, there are always going to be things that come up, even if it's something small where you're like, I don't remember how to do this note, or like, I don't remember what our policy is for this thing. And you can always like call on the people around you, especially the ones who are structured to like help you out in that situation, because so much with social work, you don't want to like mess up things that you shouldn't mess up. And I doubt that there is like any social worker who has ever reached a point of expertise where they no longer go to other people to seek like advice or seek help, or even just like seek a social work sounding board to talk through like next steps of how to act and what to do next and how to document and all of that. So that's just like a good reminder, because it's one of the first times that I've had to like ask for help since I started kind of doing things on my own. Because like during training, obviously I was asking questions all the time because I didn't understand anything. And then even by like asking for help in this situation, it's like now I keep remembering like other things. It's like, if this had been different, I wouldn't have known like what to do in that scenario, or like if this had been different, I wouldn't have known what to do in that scenario. But with the like social work education and with the experience of having already been in the field, it's like you learn how to problem solve and you learn how to use the people around you in ways that are just like so beneficial and helpful. But then after work, I was young and fun and free. Like we were talking about, the goal was, my sister Zach and I went to the restaurant that's on top of the roof of Ponce City Market. So the restaurant itself is called 9 Mile Station, and it's like on the rooftop. So that's why the city views were so beautiful, and I did just like really love it. Like I said, young and fun. The theme of the week was young and fun, or at least going forward. Thanks for joining this vlog. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you next time.